team state event. Now in 3A, last year's champ was East Central. In their first appearance, I believe, at team state, they will be returning to the 3A team state field along with Columbus East, Floyd Central, Franklin Community, Mishawaka, and Terre Haute South. Columbus East, if you remember last year, had to pull out because of COVID, so it'll be good for them. They are currently the #1 ranked team on Indiana MAT in 3A, and there's actually 2 openings in 3A this year because Columbia City has backed out of the tournament. Coach Culp, talked to him a couple times this week, just didn't feel like his team was going to do what they needed to do to be competitive in that field, and so he went ahead and pulled them out of that field, and that allows a second team to be voted in today.
And I think that's a proud thing that you have to do, but you know that you don't want to show up and not give your best in that effort, so I think he's probably made the best call.
Yeah, I think kudos to him for recognizing it and doing it in enough time that it allows another team to take part and really compete in this event. So the first team that got voted in earlier this evening, now I have to remember, they're not the Roncalli Rebels anymore. They're the Roncalli Royals. Roncalli Royals. They won Marion County yesterday. And I don't know if you guys, did you ever referee a Marion County tournament?
I was smart enough not to.
It's a heck of a tournament with Warren Central, with Perry Meridian, Lawrence North, North Central, all of those township schools from Marion County that aren't in the actual Indianapolis city limits. Roncalli won hands down. A very, very impressive performance. They absolutely deserve to be there, and honestly, I think they are easily a top 4 team in that 3A field, and they could easily challenge for that title.
Might be the favorites after winning that tough competition this week.
Absolutely. Perry Meridian was ranked top 7 or 8, if I remember right, and they beat them. So we have one more team then in 3A, and I think it was probably the hardest vote because it was the closest vote, but in the end it's going to be the Brickies of Hobart who are in the field. Last year they finished in 8th place, didn't have a very good showing, but I have a feeling that after seeing what they did yesterday, they got a late start to the season, and we're going to talk to Coach Cook later on in the show. He really feels like their team is improving, and obviously going to Mishawaka has always meant for Belmont fans to see the Brickies, and I think that's a team that's going to be very competitive in that 3A field.
For me, it's hard to see Jason Cook as anything but a Valparaiso Viking. You know, the green and white that he wore for his whole career, and his father coached there forever, and I refereed up there for Coach Cook many years for that Viking 10-way, and it's hard to see him in Hobart Bricky purple and gold.
Yeah, I actually was lucky enough last year at the state finals. After Ike was done in the finals, I had a long conversation with their longtime head coach, Steve Balish. Mm-hmm. And he's been suffering through some health problems, so if he's listening out there, we want to give him a shout-out. I hope that you're recovering. I hope to see you next week when we're at Mishawaka, and I hope that your Brickies do really well at the 3A field. Maybe we'll talk to Coach Cook a little bit about what Coach Balish means for that program.
Yeah, I know. I saw some stuff on Facebook. They had some celebrations for him up there, and had some guys come back and talk to him. I did referee the Duneland Conference for quite a few years, and Coach Balish was just a class act for that Bricky squad.
Yeah, and Hobart just came off big wins this weekend. They beat Chesterton by 20. They beat Lake Central by 24, and Coach Cook had to wrestle his old Vikings and won 49-27. Now in the 2A field, now we expand to 12 teams. Of course, Belmont and Garrett and Jay County are there. Jay County
with our overtime section and Coach Jason Cook of the Hobart Brickies right after this.
Looking for a trusted name in home or farm insulation? Ted Sprunger Insulation has been taking care of families in our area since 1978. When it comes to spraying foam and cellulose insulation, Ted Sprunger Insulation can't be beat for service or price. Give them a call today at 273-5068 or at 824-3021. That's 273-5068 or 824-3021. Ted Sprunger Insulation.
Independently owned for over 100, like an extension.
Locally owned since 1965. We offer bulk by discount Wednesday.
Wrestling Coaches Show. He also supports youth football. Fantastic Wrestler 7045.
Our Hersheyville High School Wrestling Weekly, hosted by Double Eagle here at Cross Creek. Once again, we're live from Double Eagle Clubhouse Grill. Our same guest, our favorite guest, is back again this week. Mr. Williams down there eating the big nacho platter down there. A nice little crowd. One of the oldest, longest-running Adams County wrestling fans, the big Donnie G over there, along with his friend. So we're joined now by Coach Jason Cook of the Valparaiso. No, I'm sorry.
Oh, you did it. You did
man,
it.
I knew I'd do that.
You're gonna get me beat up.
I know.
Just off the get-go.
He's a Hobart Brickie now. He's wearing purple and gold. But I told Dane Forward down here, I cannot see Jason Cook without the green and white on. You know.
All right, I got a lot to say about this right away. I'm gonna cut you off. So first of all, I'm hearing Hobart from a lot of people. We got to get this right. It's
I got
Hobart.
it. I got it right.
Hobart.
It's Hobart.
Hobart? That's not how it's spelled.
Dane, you've done a great job with the pronunciation. You do a great job with your detail in the rankings, the votings, and the Hobart pronunciations. But Rex and I don't know. I feel like there's a few other people.
Well, I wrestled in college with two Brickies. A couple of Brickies wrestled with me at SMC.
So you should know better.
Well, that's how they pronounced it, so they didn't know any better either. But
no.
Props to my old Brickies, Coy Gillen and Ronnie Skimmyhorn, state runner-up for the Brickies back in the day,
Skimmyhorn.
1979.
There you go. We had a Skimmy Horn who graduated last year on the team.
Ronnie's old buddy of mine.
Well, Coach, we want to congratulate you on getting the invite. You guys were at Team State last year for 3A, and you're back in it this year.
There we go. We're in Team State, so I feel amazing. There's so many people to thank in Hobart around the state, but just thinking broadly, Greg Ratliff, just a great job of making this event happen. He's a phenomenal coach and person. And I feel like yesterday was our state qualifier. We had to beat 3 Duneland teams to get into state. And as a Hobart Brickie, we're not in the Duneland anymore, and not since about 2004. And I and a lot of the old timers, the old guard, have a little bit of a chip on our shoulder about that. So getting 3 DAC dual wins yesterday was our punching of the ticket of Team State.
Now,
we didn't know it when it happened, but man, feels really good.
Now, Coach Cook, I know from experience from refereeing in the Duneland Conference, people from Adams County do not understand what the fan base is like when the Brickies are wrestling up there in the region. Things are a little bit rowdier up in the region, aren't they?
Things are rowdy in the region. Things are rowdy at Hobart Wrestling. That's how we like them. If you were at our Super Duel yesterday, we I don't know. I feel like we might have to set this up in the future. We had our varsity team, and then our JV team was in the tournament too because Goshen had to take themselves out. But I love having our second team in there because we've got our varsity team running over to our JV team who's dueling other varsity teams, and they're going just as nuts for our JV team as our varsity team. And our JV team's going in full support of our varsity team. I couldn't have been prouder yesterday as just a team coach who's seeing these things happen. And, that doesn't speak to the region attitude of it, but, I think my dad kind of shows it a little bit to you, Rex. I have to hear about how you called a fall on Shane Selby in 1994 at the Valpo Duels when he hit a spladle on a guy. And you looked at Shane Selby's back instead of the guy he was spladling and called a fall.
I told him, John, I said, the other guy wasn't down and your guy's was, so I'm going to call somebody pinned. And,
Rex, I agree with the call. I agreed with it.
But my 27 years later.
I tell you what, your dad always told me I had a quick trigger, and I was not afraid to pull it.
I love it. I love a quick trigger. I love it. My dad wasn't born in the region, but I feel like he's a pretty region guy. He was born in Centerville, Indiana. Very, very much not region. But, he raised me ready to coach the Brickies in the toughest town in the region. And, I love him for that and many other reasons. And for giving you some crap about that, however long it's been.
Well, Coach, we're going to be live on this show in less than 2 weeks from the gym in Mishawaka. We have not decided whether we're going to host our show in the Big Boy Gym or in the Old Gym. Do you have any preference yourself as a longtime Al Smith attendee? Which do you prefer on the first day?
I don't know. I mean, we could get into this, and I'm thinking Rex is bringing up my high school stuff when I was in high school, so I'm thinking Connorsville, Spartan Classic. So I don't want to get sidetracked on that. But first day, I was just talking to my family. You know, they're coming to support me coaching and what gym they're going to be in. And I haven't decided. You know, we've got a great coaching staff. We've got Zach Johansson, Matt Earl, Coach Vode, Frankie Porras, who's, you know, 2-time state champ. We're still fighting over which gym to be in, so I don't think I can get into this fight.
Well, I think one of my favorite parts about attending, and I've been attending for well over 25 years now, except for last year when they didn't have it, is being able to go back and forth. I love it. I love being able to follow the brackets. You go, you catch a match that you wanted to watch in the big boy gym, and then you hustle back to go to the old gym to catch, you know, a sight of it from the upper deck, and then you race back to see the the next match over at the big boy gym.
I've done that as a coach, and it usually does not work out very well.
Oh, I can imagine.
I'm getting a call like, "You better get over here. Things are going bad." And then, you know, that's when I'm taking my jog or sprint or whatever it is, however I'm feeling that day.
So, Cookie, I'm going to take this opportunity to brag about the Belmont Braves a little bit. We've added 2 new assistant coaches to our program, both of them state champions, and I think we could have the record with 5 state champions on our coaching staff for the Belmont Braves now.
Is it okay? How many last names are there though?
1. They're all Bakers and Froats. No, Billy Baker, Paul Baker were added, 2 state champions, a couple of assistant coaches, along with B.J. Froat, Paul Gunsett, and Tim Myers. Tim Myers, 2-time state champ. So does that count double? Does that mean we got 6 state champion coaches?
Something like that.
You can count as many. Yeah, that's great. If I had more to count, I would count more. That's amazing.
Well, Coach, we thank you for joining us tonight on our show, and we invite you that if you can sneak your way out of the coaches meeting, or maybe the coaches meeting will get started after we go on the air, but we should be on the air live 9 a.m. in one of those gyms on the first day of Mishawaka, and we'll go right up until the first whistle when action finally gets started.
Here we go. I'll be there. I don't know if I can find you guys, but you know, I love that you're supporting wrestling and making it an event that's worth seeing, and it's really awesome to see the community support in your area. I'm trying to make that happen more and more and more in the region. We've got a good amount of support, but I think we can pick it up.
Well, Cookie, it's been great talking to you. Say hi to your dad for me, and we will see you at the Al Smith Classic coming up here in a few weeks.